welcome everybody to In the Buff.
I hate your intros.
We're here with Chris, Scott, Bang, John, Cody, and Kyle.
Here we are. I said it. I said the thing.
I was waiting for you to say it.
And just like we always do, we set up a different recording session this
every time.
Almost every time has been different. Have we done the same recording session at least 2 times in a row?
Yes.
Or like setting, I should say.
Not recently. For the past couple we've been kind of all over the place. Though I will compliment Chris, the sound quality hasn't diminished. At least not the way I've seen.
There you go.
That's
Why are
good.
you looking
Chris
so
he looks
startled?
suspicious. He looks suspicious.
I was not expecting that.
Chris is like,
legitimate
wow.
compliment?
Yeah.
This is where Chris is like, well, I'd like to thank everybody who's recording the podcast by not talking over each other.
That bang is
Pungent.
odorific, yes. Odoriferous.
Also, the other thing is that you can't see sound.
Really?
You can
I mean,
see
if
sound
you've got
waves.
a waveform, you can.
Yeah, but you can never see my waveforms.
Yeah, he
your
uses
fault, Chris.
it's some weird, it's the product of the, what do you call it? Editing software he uses, right?
It's usually just a quirk of how I talk.
I was gonna say, yeah, that just sounds like
I thought
Chris.
you meant
No.
the waveform
So-
from the videos. Never mind.
What's going on today, Chris? What would we like to talk about first?
What?
Huh?
What?
Are you okay?
Well, if memory serves,
Chris
this
just
is
realized
double
we're recording a podcast.
it
It's in
should
the
be
buff.
comments with Cody first.
Yeah, it's comments.
Oh, I
Comments
thought you'd
with
never
Cody.
ask.
Wow,
Thank you.
can we get a sound button?
Comments with Cody.
No.
I liked when a while ago, I went, it's Chris's Corner. No, I don't like the music.
Oh.
I don't want the music to be there. But,
Cody, take us to the comments.
Sure. So, 3 days ago on In the Buff episode number 19, our most recent episode, where John was recalling him taking on the persona of Son Goku during a wild bender in Oxford, Ohio.
I recall this.
Dealey Griff piping in here, I'm back, bitches. That seems to be a quotation from some Vegeta somewhere.
What? Well, it's great to see you back, Dealey Griff.
Thanks for coming back, D. Lee Griff.
Poor Vegeta.
Halfway through,
Oh,
I was halfway through that, I was like, I'm gonna give him a nickname, and then I couldn't commit to it,
D.
so I just said his full
Lee
name.
Griff.
It's just our daily dose of Griff.
Is that all we got?
Another one here from Kyle, same episode. Chris or Kyle getting a little snarky with Chris. Kyle,
Oh,
do you want to read that comment for
There
you?
you go.
I'm-
You got it up?
Do you want me to paraphrase or do you want me to read it verbatim?
Verbatim.
Woo, whatever you prefer.
All right. Chris, by bare minimum,
That's in quotations.
did you mean existed in the general vicinity of, while I was the one doing all of the design, operation, maintenance, and building of this fucking robot that we built?
He said, damn.
Sure.
I did not know what that was in reference to.
When you were talking about going to the robot convention or whatever.
Yeah, being part of BattleBots or whatever.
Oh, as in bare minimum, I meant
Your name was on the piece of paper. That was the bare minimum I remember.
I learned how to solder.
Okay, yes, Chris
Oh.
did actually do some soldering.
Incredible.
He does get points back.
You held a gun?
No.
More of a stick.
I've never even seen a soldering gun.
A pen. It was like a
They're
soldering
hot.
pen.
I bet they are
Yeah.
hot.
Every other week, Cody, I'm going to bother you about Gloria.
Who's Gloria?
The
About what?
resolution that he made. The wedding album.
Gotcha.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think it's right here. I've got it right here. It's a lovely little album.
You still have to contact her.
You know,
Yeah.
cut
okay.
this out if Cody doesn't want it. Goddamn, Cody. Congratulations. If you don't get it, I'm sorry. But if you do, congratulations on the new job, my guy.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Holy shit.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
we'll see. There's plenty of stuff that can still go wrong.
Yeah. But we don't talk about that.
No.
We
All
move
right.
on. We look
Right.
forward.
To John, I think it is an incredibly entertaining that you think we are the height of highbrow comedy.
There's no thinking about it.
Sure.
I know we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're top of the fucking class,
John
my
keeps
guy.
combing his beard and is. Oh, all right. I'm glad it's gone. I'm gonna be
So
real.
that's what snooty people
It's a
do
good
when they're
sensation.
highbrow comedians.
I would.
do any
I'd
more?
comb my
So
beard
snooty.
right now
Is that all
along
we
with
got?
him,
Is
but
that
I
all-
left my comb at home.
Is that all the comments? Is that all the comments we got? Is that all the comments?
Here's a comment from I'm Stretch. Final Fantasy X Walk a Celestial Weapon Guide World Champion video. Thanks
Yeah.
for the tutorial. If it wasn't for this video, I wouldn't have had a clue or even have done any good at Blitzball. Thank you for another top tutorial.
Okay.
pretty cool.
Awesome.
What
that was
praise.
some pretty high praise.
And then
I'm sorry, I'm stretched, but Blitzball is not a complicated game.
I mean, you would probably say that about the goddamn sphere grid. That shit's complicated.
I feel like it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I don't
It
feel
can
like it's
be.
complicated though.
He had to explain it
it can
to
definitely
me.
be overwhelming if you're doing like expert sphere grid. Because
Yeah,
then it's like,
Sorry. Cody and I looked at Expert Sphere Grid, and we looked at each other in the playthrough that we did like 7 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was like, nah, we're doing normal. Fuck this shit.
What is the difference?
Basically all the areas.
Oh,
are
I
open.
don't give a fuck. So, is there another comment?
we do have another comment from Coden Garrison on Final Fantasy X Aran Celestial Weapon Guide
Thanks for writing in,
Masamune
Coden.
video. I messed up big time. I can't get Tidus's fully upgraded Celestial Weapon because it's blocked by Dark Bahamut now. Same thing for getting Anima.
Solve it.
Odd.
Solve the problem.
Just beat him. You can just beat him. Just fight the Dark Aeon and beat him, and then you can get the weapon. Odd that he would comment this on the Aran Celestial Weapon Guide video and not the Tidus Celestial
Right.
Weapon Guide video.
I agree.
Just be better, my guy.
The Anima thing is interesting. That tells me that he can't beat Dark Valfor, because that's the only temple that gets blocked off. If you're... Oh, no, there's also the Temple of Makalania that gets blocked off. by
Thank you,
Dark
John.
Aeon.
You know, I'm glad that you brought that up because I was about to call you out for being so wrong
Mhm.
and saying that Besaid was the only temple that gets blocked off.
I don't know this much stuff about anything.
You do. It's
Yeah,
just
you
all
definitely
shit
do.
that no one cares about.
John's interest is... Yeah, fuck.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Kyle's doing
Hold
great.
on.
Encyclopedic knowledge about something is very, very specific.
All right, take two.
I think he already finished his take.
Oh,
Yep.
fuck.
Is that all we got? God, I hope so, because I don't
That
want to talk
is all
about
we
more
got.
Final Fantasy.
Yep.
That's
It's
wonderful.
about the only thing people want to talk to us about, apparently.
You know,
Yeah.
corners, huh? Some people call people who throw corn at people corners.
No, a corner is
That's-
when someone comes and takes dead bodies away from crime scenes.
No, that's a corunner.
Right.
No, a corner is
No,
90
that's
degrees.
that's the thing that's around the sun.
Oh, that's
No.
a corona. No, wait,
No.
that's beer.
with a lime.
No,
Or
no.
maybe
You guys
a
are wrong.
virus.
A core runner is your anchor leg on a relay race.
Oh, I see. Well, that's
No,
great.
no. You're thinking Coruscant. That's a planet in
It's
Star Wars.
John.
I'll try.
How could I mix those up?
Hey,
You're right.
that was an effort.
It was.
Okay. Chris has been silent.
Yeah,
for
look at him. Well, the point is, John and I just watched, and Chris just watched The Last of Us.
I might as well
Episode
not have
one
been
on
there.
episode-
Episode
HBO
1.
Max.
Before we get to your corner, Kyle, it's Kyle's corner.
Sure.
Before
His
we get
first.
to your corner, Kyle, I
For
want
this,
to talk
he's been a
about
corner
Last of Us.
version.
No spoilers. I will say, if you've played the game, it's just the game. So there
Yeah.
won't be any spoilers.
Well, fantastic. I've not played the game.
Wonderful.
Prime audience
Absolutely.
right
He can be my audience while I talk about how it's weird. It reminds me of Bohemian Rhapsody.
The most I'll preface, but your
doing
ability
great,
to
though.
speak here for a minute by saying the only thing I know realistically about The Last of Us is the one scene where the rabbit comes out of the hole and you shoot it,
Yep.
and it is your two guys' video of it.
Mhm.
All I remember is you guys absolutely dying at that.
I'm gonna name it Flip.
there. As soon as I name it, I get fucking doinked, bro.
Oh, That was genuine laughter. Normally, I don't feel anything. But we just watched The Last of Us, and it reminds me of Bohemian Rhapsody in that Rami Malek, should he get credit for just doing a really good impression of Freddie Mercury? Should this show
is in
get credit?
reference to the Queen movie.
Bohemian Rhapsody, I
Yeah.
said that.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm an idiot.
should the show get credit for just doing a really good impression of the game I already played?
I don't think
This
the
is-
writers should. But I do think the actors should get credit.
I don't know, man. I'll say this. That's what I feel about Ellie, and I didn't like it at all. It was like looking... It was like... what's that term when you see something not quite human? Uncanny Valley.
Valley.
It was like the Uncanny Valley of Ellie. I know that's supposed to be Ellie. She's trying to be Ellie, but that's not Ellie.
And I didn't get that feeling from the dude that was playing Joel.
Yeah, not at all.
Like, honestly, I thought I was going to be more hypocritical about Joel, but I'm like, honestly, he's alright. And what's his name? Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal, yeah.
Maybe that's why he's getting all this work now.
Maybe. I don't know.
You said Marlene was...
At least the way she looks. Like, she doesn't have much of a character in the game,
Yeah.
but Marlene is the... For you, Cody. Marlene, for you to remember, she's the Firefly leader.
Yeah,
In the first
guys,
game.
I edited those videos
But
of
it
your
was
playthrough.
fucking 7 years ago, alright?
By the way, if you'd like to watch our playthrough of The Last of Us, you can click here to watch the full
Wait.
playlist.
I think it was 9 years ago.
Are you gonna put the effort in to make that poster card on there?
He hasn't done it every
Yes.
time I tried to.
Anyway,
I'm getting better.
it's like they just paste her out of the fucking game. She just looks like
Yeah.
Marlene, but in real life.
Like, they have the costume, the looks, like, she has the same hair, like, all of it. Like, from, like, a visual perspective, perfect casting.
But,
I will say, as a general rule, I find that anyone trying to do a movie take on a video game is inevitably going to fail.
well,
Like the Halo series?
it's interesting.
Don't get me started. I refuse to accept that that thing exists.
It's interesting
That's not Halo.
that we've had a night. Before we watched The Last of Us, we watched the Uncharted movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
With Spider-Man.
with Spider-Man in it, he didn't use webs once.
He did try one time.
He tried,
Didn't
but it
work.
didn't
He
work.
fell off a waterfall.
Yeah. But here's my problem with the Uncharted movie, and I think it's a problem you could extend to The Last of Us. Naughty Dog in particular makes games that are these days, makes games that are particularly cinematic
Crash Bandicoot
So-
is cinematic.
these days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make a game out of make a movie or show out of a game like that, I feel like you're just taking away from it.
Right, that's my exact thought.
Yeah,
Like,
because I can play the movie.
the only thing that's going to happen is the people who, your core audience, the people who like this thing, are just going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
Well,
So-
I don't know if it's necessarily disappointment. It's more to do with, like, if you're watching, like, a one-for-one adaptation of a game, like, it seems that The Last of Us
for
is.
the most part, it seems that way so far on the first episode.
But the person watching it can be like, why am I not just playing this?
Straight up, that's what was happening.
And that's like, I came to the realization that, like, I don't think this is for the people who played the game. I think this is for the people who were interested in it but didn't play video games. That were like, oh, this sounds like a cool concept, but don't play video games or don't have the time to sit down and play a story game.
But I guess. But while we were watching it, John and I kept going like, "Oh, this is the game. Like this is just a scene from the game they took in to put in the movie. Yep, this is the game." Like at the very beginning when she's in the back of the truck, they just do that whole scene basically.
Oh yeah, Sarah's
Oh,
in the very
really?
first episode. His little baby
See?
girl.
Now, from what I understand, like, Neil Druckmann is the showrunner, right?
I have no idea.
Sure.
Oh. Well, can
Is
we get a
somebody wanna look that
confirmation
up?
on that?
Look it up. Neil Druckmann, Last of Us? Question mark.
Well, I know he was the creative director
For the game.
for the game. And so it's like, if he's just, it's like, can he plagiarize his own work?
Yeah, I can see what you mean there. I mean, technically,
He's
theoretically,
he's
you could.
he is a creator, writer, and producer on the TV show.
Here's my snooty, like, elitist one-liner comment on the on The Last of Us episode 1. That beginning area with Sarah was 3 times as long and about 8/10 as effective.
For us,
That's
Chris
some, that's some
cried.
hard math.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Chris cried, and Chris played that portion of the game, and just watched it.
I'm just saying it took me 10 minutes when I was playing the game to get through that. It was half an hour in the show.
Well, it took you and me about 20 because I hold you back some.
Yeah, sure.
It's just something about kids dying that always gets to me.
That's great.
Like, I cried when Rue died in...
From Winnie the Pooh?
No.
Hunger Games.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, my mind went there first too.
Jesus Christ. Who
There's
kills
a-
a kangaroo?
I can't wait.
Oh,
I can't wait until we
yeah.
get a gritty reboot of Winnie the Pooh now that it's in the public domain.
We are! We're getting a horror film this year of Winnie the Pooh.
Wait,
That's
what even is it?
What?
It's like this...
It's a Michael Myers like.
But Winnie the Pooh
It's
is
some
a monster?
dude. I think Winnie the Pooh is the monster.
You think we're gonna get like a oh bother
Yes.
I hope so.
kind of?
I don't know.
And he
If
stabs
anybody
through-
was going to go off the rails, it would have been Eeyore.
Yeah, that guy's on the razor's fucking edge.
Yeah, he's holding on by a thread.
No, it's Tigger.
Excuse me?
Everyone would expect Tigger. That's why it's not gonna be Tigger.
Tigger would be a school shooter.
No.
Eeyore is like...
Piglet's the silent one, though.
No, he isn't.
No,
I'm pretty sure it'd be Rabbit.
I don't.
Rabbit
Oh,
would just be
Piglet's the
fed
silent
up
one.
with everybody.
Like, I could see him twitching his
Like-
eye. Oh.
Oh,
Actually,
got
the more I
stuck in
think
a-
about it, why is anybody
honey pot?
friends with anybody in the 100 Acre Woods? It seems like they all hate each
because
other.
Christopher Robin has a fever dream.
Stop Pokemon coma theorying this, okay?
And I'm pretty sure this is legitimately how this story has worked.
Okay. We'll call it cerebral palsy.
No, he just has the
What's
the
that mean,
flu,
Kyle?
and he has all these stuffed animals, and he's
What's-
still pretending
What's cerebral policy mean?
Palsy.
palsy.
Okay. To put it in the 5-year-old explanation, it's where your brain don't work so well and you can't move
He's almost
properly.
30. This guy.
You have-
Kyle. Shapes. Corners.
We're in a pentagram now.
Topics.
Here we are.
A pentacle.
Let's get weird.
Okay.
We'll call it a
Well-
pinnacle. Yeah.
Sure.
Hell
If you
yeah.
wanna introduce it like that. So I have been on a kick for most of the last couple of weeks watching all of your guys' content.
Uh-huh.
Get
Fucking
caught up.
nerd.
And I have seen this story come up several times, but it never got told. I remember in November, I think in one of the November podcasts, John said maybe it'll be something for next year. So,
It's that
since
year
it's
now.
next year, I think it's time for you guys to tell the freedom story.
Oh,
Chris,
I can go home.
why don't you tell it? Huh?
Chris, yeah, we've told this story
I
more
didn't
than enough times.
exist.
I'm involved in this story and I don't remember it well enough to tell it.
Well, as a young lad,
We should have rehearsed this.
no.
We didn't know.
I love
I had no
Donovan.
clue.
I'm the only one who tells people ahead of time what their corner is.
So
Wow, you take
Chris-
a shot at everybody?
Chris, what are you talking about? What do you think that is? Yeah? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. I'm coming on strong. I'm defensive today.
You're touching my knee a lot, and
Yeah,
I think
I don't know why.
Looks like he regrets it.
Kyle, Cody, John, and I, and some other people who don't
I
exist. anymore.
believe on that day it was just us four.
It was just us four.
I think so. Yeah. We used to hang out. all the
There was a
time.
fifth actor involved.
We would go.
Ah, yes, your sister.
No.
Well, no.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right.
We would hang out at the Winterfresh house and just chill, have fun.
That was our main hangout area.
I remember it's a lot of fun times. You guys would do LAN, Halo a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was just co-op. Your couch co-op. That wasn't.
Well,
planned.
I remember one time you guys desperately tried to hook up your Xboxes to each other.
We
With
did
LAN
try that
Yes.
once. It didn't work.
So the majority of our time spent at the Winterfresh house was in 4 areas: in their gaming room, in the living room, or downstairs in the basement in either of their bedrooms or the rest of the basement.
Mm-hmm. And we we're kids, rambunctious youths.
We would just do stupid shit. My siblings always told me about a more advanced game of hide and seek that had
This
a cool
wasn't
name.
a hide and seek thing, though.
Yeah. But that was like,
That's something we would do in the basement.
yeah, that was
Basically,
this
hide and
was-
seek. All the lights are out.
Oh no,
and
it started as a game of that.
did it?
Yes,
believe
it
it
did,
did.
because you were trying to stop us so that you guys could get to the base.
Oh,
Right.
that is right.
So, the cool name that my siblings came up with was Eagle in the Dark.
If smart listeners will put this together with episode fucking 2, I think,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
or was it 1? Were you
That
talking
was,
about
oh, well, yeah,
being
maybe.
on the farmhouse with your shitty ghost stories?
Oh, yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
episode 1.
Look at that, great! I'm a super fan, but I digress. We were doing that. It was kind of like a thinly veiled "Are we gay?" scenario where the lights were all out, and we're like, "Is somebody gonna get aroused by this?" Maybe I'm just picking something up.
I think you're picking something up.
Well, this gets pretty awkward.
Yeah, I think
because-
you're reading a bit too much into that. I don't think I ever thought that.
Well, I'm a little bit worried now because you and I were sitting on the bed for a large amount of time.
Yeah,
I didn't make a move on you, but I felt something kept poking me.
I didn't make a move on you.
I thought I'd be the one in the closet.
So either A, there
Being
was
in the
something in the
closet
bed,
does
or B,
reference
One of us
just
is
that
lying.
wrong.
One of us is lying. So we're playing hide and seek. Basically, it's
You have your safe room.
yeah.
Which
You
was
got to
the
get to the
closet.
safe room.
One person has to go find everybody. They have to tag them or whatever. And everybody gets like 2 minutes to hide or
How
whatever.
old were we? Like 13,
You know,
I think
probably
we were
younger
closer
than
to
that.
15.
15.
We
At
were
the time.
Yeah,
God.
I think we were.
That's too old
We were cl-
for this to have been happening.
I feel like I remember being anywhere between the ages of less than 13.
All right.
Okay, we'll say that
Either way.
in that range.
So Cody wasn't born yet.
Also, it was late. Too late to be doing this.
Yeah, it was what 8:00 at night.
8 or 9 on a school night.
Yeah.
And we were just fucking around. And I remember you and I were in Kyle's room.
I believe you were in
We were in
Cody's room.
Cody's room.
You were in Cody's room.
Because
Oh,
Kyle's
but
room
Kyle's
was, in
room
the
was that
corner.
side.
Cody's room
this
was
side.
by the stairs.
You're absolutely right.
So we were sitting in Cody's room. We had already got. And we were just sitting on Cody's bed, kind of waiting for the round to end. Kyle
I believe I was the one seeking.
Kyle was the one seeking. He was the eagle. Cody was the one in the dark.
Now, for reference, the closet, which is Cody and I shared a closet. The closet was in between the two bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Closet was home base. If you got in the closet, you were free to go.
We had already lost. John and I had already lost. We're just sitting there waiting for Cody.
I had gotten the brilliant idea that if I just barricade myself in the closet, Cody can't win.
Exactly. Cody got wind of this, though. But you know who else got wind of it? Was Daddy Winterfresh. Got wind of it. We heard him stomping down the stairs, and John and I are like,
And I will tell you right now, up until today years old, I have been intimidated by their father. Imagine what I was like at less than 13.
yeah. So we're sitting in Cody's room. He comes in through the door, which I'm not going to explain the layout. He comes into the door. The closet's on his left. On his right.
Closet door's
Our
closed.
And he's like, you go.
So he comes in, he turns the corner, straight face, looking all business, and he's like, where are they? And Scott and I just like freeze. And I'm like, maybe in there? We don't know. And so he starts to walk towards the closet door. As soon as he opens it, you see the handle you see the handle end of a broom. Not just once. It's like LeBron James when he went to Miami. Not once, not twice, it got stopped at 3 times. But you see the handle of a broom catch him in the chest, and then catch him in the chin, and then catch him right below the throat before he finally grabs it and fucking yanks it, and a young Kyle comes out with it. And he's just like, I thought Kyle was gonna die. I thought it was game over, man. He was about to restart the last
Here's the
checkpoint.
best part. So Cody the door to Cody's room is open, but his father's on the left side of the room where John and I are with Kyle, and Cody stands at the door, sees John and I, and just goes, and is holding a wrench, and he's like, Frida! Oh.
and it's cut off, and you just hear their dad, upstairs, now! And
Yes,
we're
sir.
just like, yeah, yes, sir. Sorry, Mr. Wintermute.
And so they're getting in trouble. They're getting yelled at for being rambunctious
We
youths.
get locked in the gaming room with the Xbox, and we're sitting there panicking.
This is it.
We're dead silent. And then, after 2 or 3 minutes, after 2 or 3 minutes of silence, nothing has happened yet. And we look at each other. And I'm like, do you think we're?
Are we like in serious trouble here?
I'm like, do you think we're ever going to be allowed over here again?
I don't think so. I think this is it. I think this is the last time.
Do you think they're going to let us stay the night still?
I don't think so. No, it's a school night.
Probably.
So I can't remember who comes in.
I'm like, you wanna play Oblivion?
One of you comes in and is like, you guys gotta go home.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, I remember us being allowed to stay the night for that night, but we were done. This was right before summer, and we were not allowed to stay the entire summer.
Oh man.
And it's
What a
just
great time.
I remember
That got dropped pretty quick.
I remember
to be honest.
Cody came in first and was just still pretty quiet. He was like, yeah. And then Kyle came in 10 minutes later. I'm like, so what happened?
Oh no.
And it took probably halfway through the night. We had to go to bed early, I remember.
Yeah.
We left pretty much right in the morning.
Mhm.
I think we left 9 or 10 in the morning.
Ass crack of dawn.
Yeah, I mean it was early. And it's just I remember making a small reference with Scott, we finally started to crack and talk about it before they came in. And that was our thing. We would just kind of whisper, yell freedom whenever anything would happen.
I have that image burned into my head. You look so fucking heroic, Cody. With your wrench. I imagine you with a shield. And you're like, hurry up!
It's just immediately cut off. And
Well-
dude, the third jab, when your dad caught the broom, I'm like, oh, holy shit. The hardest part is we're sitting there, Scott and I, 2 innocent bystanders, trying our hardest not to laugh at this rebellion happening.
And the thing that John and I have talked about is there's no fucking way that after the first jab, you didn't at least acknowledge and see your father.
You were in full spin mode, bro.
This is, I will hold this line from any interlopers.
So,
You had no hesitation in your mind. You were 100%, 110% set that I'm going to kill my brother today.
So that he doesn't win this game of hide and seek.
Yeah.
And the first, you corrected it. The first shot was towards the chest, which would have been right in Cody's dome. And then the second shot, you went higher because it was taller than you expected.
The look on your face. When you grabbed it.
And I'm pretty sure you also let out a ha! Oh my god.
Oh man.
That story lives rent free in my head.
Yeah.
And will
He
continue to
was
do so.
so angry.
I would be too.
He was one step away from just bending the broom in half.
yeah.
Oh, we should probably clarify why he wasn't angry because we were just having fun in the basement. He was angry because we kept more than once throughout that night we kept bumping into the support beams.
Oh,
Support
yeah.
beams, we were slamming doors, we were being very
We were-
loud
we
at
were
8:30
energetic.
at night.
Yes.
We were very energetic.
We had been told
Where'd it go?
we had been told prior to him coming downstairs 3 times to stop being so loud.
So he already came down with some serious energy.
Oh, well, this is... Okay, you ever had those instances where you know you are in the most deep shit, and then they don't start yelling?
Yep.
Are you okay? You haven't said anything in so long.
I have nothing to give to this story.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
Wait, what else is new?
We got taken into the other room, and we basically got told, you've been told 3 times.
You guys got the 100% serious talk.
Yes.
It was so angry it was calm.
Yes. You are not going downstairs again. You are going to bed at 9 o'clock. They're leaving first thing in the morning.
Oh.
You are grounded for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I remember it being something.
Shut the fuck up. And then he walked away.
Because I remember being like, so do you guys want to play Halo? And you guys were like, well, we just need to be quiet.
We need to be quiet.
Did you guys ever get, like, obviously you just detailed a time where you were in trouble with your parents. I never once got in trouble with my parents.
Oh, 100%. I've been in trouble. In trouble.
When
I've been troubled and in trouble.
When I was an absolute child, so I'm a toddler. I have no memory of this situation. I got my dad got locked out of the house. My mom was so angry at him for something that I did.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow, Kyle.
Okay, I was...
First you lock your dad out of your house, and then you jab him in the throat with a broom.
You killed the cat.
No.
Oh.
Worse.
You guys
Almost
got a
worse.
cat?
Almost
Not
worse. So, to preface this, I'm 1.5.
All right.
I'm able to walk and move stuff around on my own. My mother had just had my brother, like, a few months ago. Cody was an absolute infant, incapable of doing anything else on his own. My mother was sitting on the floor, just
What's
playing with
changed?
him. And she sees me walk around the corner with my dad's handgun
Oh my fucking
leveled straight at Cody.
Yo,
Which
you're
would
over
have
here
put-
playing GoldenEye.
I would have put one through Cody's head and it would have gone through Mom's torso.
Holy fuck, dude. Was the safety on?
Safety was on, it was loaded, there was one in the chamber.
Oh my god.
We could be living a very different life right now.
Holy shit.
Dad was not allowed to come into the house until he got a safe that I would not be able to open.
Yeah, for real. Oh
Dude.
my goodness.
Jesus
I can understand
Christ.
this.
Legitimate concern.
Yeah. What about you, Chris? You ever get in trouble?
That's a blunder. Bit of a misstep for sure.
I believe I've put up mental barriers for every time that I've gotten in trouble.
Oh, because it ended
Alright, well, let's-
violently.
I've got a story about
let's
Cody.
Knock one down. Let's get vulnerable, Chris.
I'm gonna get
We
that
always get vulnerable when Kyle's around.
flippin' sledgehammer out and knock down your walls.
No.
That's a
knocked out.
great story, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't have anything to share here.
I've got
Well,
another
I've
one.
got a story that I'd
Okay.
like to share of us getting in trouble.
I have one of Cody
This-
getting in trouble.
This story involves me and John from a couple of years ago. And
Is this the road
much
trip?
much later on than our childhoods. We were both adults at this point in time. And this was this is the end of the year 2015. I had gotten tickets to go see Alabama versus Michigan State at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. I was a big Michigan State fan at the time because
You had
I was
tickets for the
talking
game?
yeah. Well, I was talking to a girl at the time who was a really big Michigan State fan, which meant that
Oh.
I was also a big Michigan
Fair
State
See,
fan.
now,
weather.
Chris, this is how you play the fan game.
And so John and I decided we were going to drive to Texas in his brand new Chevy Malibu.
Cody, you didn't invite her, or was I second pickings?
Well, so I suppose we should clarify. She had stopped talking to me at this point.
Oh,
And
that
I think
bitch.
I had gotten it into my head that this was some sort of petty vengeance thing where I'm like,
not
aha.
so fair weather fan.
Oh. Wow, it really sucks that we were not on the same page the entire time we were there. The most interesting thing
Nope.
we did outside of the game was go see a fucking cow turd.
Wonderful.
I think I bought those tickets out of spite more than anything else.
Spite is a very powerful motivator.
You know, I am often thought of for people doing spiteful things.
Huh?
You're my
He's-
wingman for
He's a
spite.
spite wingman.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
do
a spite
something to
wingman.
piss someone off.
I
Hey,
need
John,
John.
you want to do something
I'm
for
here.
free?
I'm here to help you try to have a good time and be known doing it.
Right.
I'm great for causing a scene.
So it's the night of the
You are
game,
Goku.
and we were in a ratty Motel 6.
It
like-
was awesome.
This was rough.
Pretty
but
sure
it was
there were
like
still
2
drugs
miles.
on the counter.
Did they comp
Well,
that?
no, those were anyway. Uh,
Uh-oh.
so the motel where we were staying at was like 2 miles away from the stadium, and we're like, well, we don't really want to deal with parking, we don't want to deal with traffic, so we're like, let's just walk 2 miles to AT&T Stadium. And so we did. And so we're walking, and we get about halfway there when this white windowless panel van just pulls up on the street beside us, and the guy just leans out of the window and he's like, "Hey, you guys going to the game?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're going to the game." And he's like, "Do you want to lift?"
And
And we're like,
my legs sure are tired.
and I'm like,
Why does this sound
yeah,
like a
sure.
code
I mean, if you're
conversation?
driving us there, we'll take a lift. He's like, all right, getting back. And so we get in the back of his van.
They had
And-
candy and needles and rubber bands and
Really?
yeah, and
And
spoons and lighters.
Really?
Did they have sugar?
I think so.
It could have just been a confectionery.
Yeah.
That kind of sugar that goes right in the bloodstream.
And then he drives us right to the gates of the stadium, and he's like, "Here you are." And we're like, "Thanks, man."
Did he even?
He's like-
was he going to the game?
I don't think so.
This could have been John Wayne Gacy.
In 2015?
You know what I meant. A John Wayne Gacy type.
Oh.
Right.
Pedophile
Well,
murderer.
you know, we weren't in the best of shape, so it's like 2 miles is a long way to walk. So if people are offering rides, free, by the way, he didn't even ask
he
for
didn't
anything.
Didn't ask for anything.
He got what he wanted.
And
Yeah,
then-
I guess so.
we watched the game. Alabama destroys Michigan State 38-0.
And the whole time, Cody's muttering to himself, "That's right, you dumb bitch. Yeah, fuck your team. Fuck Michigan State."
So spiteful. Good
We're
Lord.
right here on the 40 fucking yard line watching your stupid ass team
Cody-
getting beat.
God
Cody sent
damn.
like 40,000 Snapchats.
Oh, just me here in Texas watching Michigan State get the shit kicked out of them.
Wish you were here. Please take me back.
Happy New Year's, motherfuckers.
So, if you think a 15-hour drive to Texas is long, imagine the 15-hour car ride back after you just watched your team get clobbered.
Right.
The biggest blowout in the 150 years that the Cotton Bowl has been around.
Damn.
Set a record. So I wanted to get out of Dodge. And so John decided he was going to let me drive for the span out to Arkansas. And, you know, I might have gotten a little bit of a lead foot
John's
out
got a
there.
new lease.
I was
You know?
asleep.
It's a new car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had just
This
had
is a-
this car for 3 weeks.
It still had the temp plates on it
It
from
did?
the dealership. Yeah. You know, I might have thought, oh, this is a new car. This is a nice car. But is it a fast car?
God damn it.
Well,
It is.
acceleration isn't great. It was a 4-cylinder.
You hit that deer pretty good.
Well, that deer had 1 cylinder.
I guess.
And so John's asleep in the passenger seat, and I'm like, let's see if this baby can hit triple digits.
God damn it, man.
And did it?
Oh, it did. It did. I was there to witness it, and the Texas State Trooper on the highway there was also there to witness it.
Oh, God.
Damn right they were.
You were so lucky.
I was still asleep until we got pulled over.
Yeah.
And then before they walked up, Cody's like I think
Hey.
we stopped moving, and like Cody just started nudging me and waking me up.
Well,
But it gets worse. Just think about the situation.
Yep.
Plates from Ohio
mhm.
in Texas.
Yeah.
Continue, Cody.
Oh, fuck.
So it's a lady, state trooper, and she pulls up.
So she doesn't have authority, is that what you're saying? Wow.
That is
Ms.
what I'm
World, I
saying. It was
guess.
basically just a perfunctory position. I'm a known misogynist and sexist and hater of women, so I was giving her some lip.
Our HR department is working on that. He has come a long ways.
And she's like, "Do you know how fast you're going, sir?" And I'm like, "No, ma'am."
What lip?
Much sass.
If you would have been like fast enough to get your attention, can I get your digit?
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Why are you single?
Pretty sure Cody would still be in a fucking. Cody
Spread
would
them.
not have made it out of Texas.
No.
Yeah.
He'd still be in
And
a
she's like-
southern prison.
She's like, "Sir, I'm gonna need you to step out of the car." And I'm like, yes, ma'am." Bear in mind, I think I am 19 years old.
Okay.
Wait, were you?
19 or 20. And so I step out of the car and she's like,
2015.
"Go ahead and sit in my cruiser." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And she starts interrogating John.
I'm dead to the world. And she's talking to me, and she's like, do you own this car? I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you know how fast your friend was going? I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, I was asleep. I have no idea. How fast was he going? She's like, I clocked him going over 100. And I'm like, wow. Now, in my head, I bit my tongue here, because I was like, that motherfucker went 100 before me in my own goddamn car? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you? Oh, cool. I have words for him.
While you
And
were
he-
riding, bitch.
Yeah, while I was riding bitch.
Oh, man.
And then instead, what I actually said was,
You're a cuck.
instead, what I actually said was, wow. Over 100, huh?
Is that too fast?
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, what's the speed limit? And she's like, 85. I think it was 85 or maybe it was 80.
I think it was
Jesus Christ.
75.
Oh, was it
Do
75?
people go that fast outside
Yeah.
of Ohio?
Oh yeah.
Holy
Well, some Ohio highways are 70, 75.
Like, so you said 85 is what I'm...
I was just guessing. I really don't remember.
It's Texas. It's not allowed out
and
there
then,
for you to hit.
and then she started hitting me with the shakedown.
Maybe a
And she
cow.
was like, so what were you guys doing out here? I'm like, we came for the Cotton Bowl game. And she's like, oh, who was playing? And I'm like,
Oh.
my eyes widen. And I'm like, oh, I'm panicking. Was actually what I said. I'm like, I'm just really waking up right now. You're gonna have to give me a second. I think it was like Oklahoma or it was Michigan State, and they got destroyed by some red team. And I think the reason why I said Oklahoma was because the first night that we got there, when I took a nap, and then Cody took a nap, and then I woke up and I left and went to a bar. And I met a girl from Oklahoma to see the game, and I just hung out with her for a while before I came back. So I'm like, Oklahoma was on my mind. And I'm like,
I wonder why.
I'm like,
Michigan State was
yeah,
on
I'm
Cody's.
like, I'm like Oklahoma and Michigan State. I think it was some red team, and they just absolutely destroyed Michigan State. She's like, yeah, okay, and then like she walked away, and I'm like, all right. I didn't think anything was wrong. I panicked and I waited too long to say anything, so I just threw names out there, and then like it took about another 4 minutes after she walked away that I'm like, oh, she thinks we're smuggling drugs. We're just two white kids from Ohio.
Who don't have a clear alibi.
Yeah.
Just sweating bullets trying to remember this game they obviously didn't
that
go
white
to.
panel van, they would have helped Bailey out.
Probably.
They were probably smuggling drugs,
And other things too.
and were using you two as a cover.
So
So she walks away from John and walks over and gets in the cruiser with me.
oh, you
and
were
she's
in the
like,
cruiser?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I had no idea. In the back seat?
I'm the front seat.
Oh, nice, dude.
really?
Good for you.
Because she wanted to separate us to make sure our stories checked
Yeah,
out.
Yeah.
They probably didn't.
While you were sparse on information, John, I went the opposite route and was just word vomiting everything I could think of.
So there's this girl back home. She loved me. She broke my heart.
She's an absolute bitch. Not like you though, ma'am. You're great.
Oh man.
It's shocking how close that is to what I actually said.
Oh my god, dude! Oh shit!
Oh man, that's awesome.
And I start just ranting about the Cotton Bowl and like how it was the biggest blowout in history and how we drove all the way down here.
You sound like a guy who's like too scared to get caught for smuggling drugs. So like you looked up all the information you could about the Cotton Bowl to use that as your alibi.
And she's like, "Are you always this nervous when you get pulled over?"
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm like, does it show that bad?
Only by beautiful
Is it that
women.
obvious?
Yeah, you should have been that way.
And she's like, so I'm writing you a ticket. And I'm like, yeah, that tracks. And then we drove home with
remember-
a bit of a damper on things.
I remember she came back to the car and I was like, it was Alabama.
There you go.
She was like, yeah, okay, thanks.
Gives
I
no
got-
shits.
I got screwed on that ticket. Like I
bet
think
you
it
did.
was like $350.
Cody,
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, okay. That is pretty bad, but you were also
Going 100
What were
miles
you
an hour.
actually going? Do you remember what you got clocked at?
On the ticket, it was 93 in a 75
Oh,
zone.
wow.
I don't know, man.
Okay, interesting.
I don't. That is.
It's
Which,
weird.
if
It's
it was-
interesting that she wrote that down because I remember her just telling me that
That's
she
under
clocked
20.
you going over 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because she probably gave
She probably
us
thought you were cute.
like
Or maybe she thought I was cute.
No.
I was not overweight like I am right now. And I had more hair on top of my head.
Cody's
Not a
the
lot,
most
though.
attractive of us.
What?
I think she just went
Cody's
easy
the
on us
most
because we were a bunch
attractive
of
of them.
scared white boys.
Yeah. If you weren't white or scared.
Oh, we would have been arrested.
Yeah.
Dude.
I even remember it. I was kind of dragging my feet on paying that ticket, and I started getting letters in the mail saying, "Yeah, if you don't pay this ticket soon, we're gonna put out a warrant for your arrest and drive up to Ohio."
Oh. Dog the Bounty Hunter would have
Cody does that audible gulp noise.
Like zoinks, man.
That's good.
How far are we in?
50 minutes.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not going to end. I thought it was much sooner.
Yeah, I had no idea how far this was going.
I could keep talking about shit that happened in that basement.
I could too. I had a second topic, but if you guys want to keep
Well-
talking about that, I'm good.
When you asked that question about getting in trouble, you were asking about getting in trouble with our parents, right? Okay, all right. So, Cody, did you get in trouble with your parents in that? With that ticket?
I don't know if I told them.
I see.
I definitely didn't.
I remember the story coming out roughly after you paid the ticket.
Yes, I definitely told them
tracks.
after I paid the ticket.
I can think of 2 legitimate times that I got in trouble with my parents. One of them, I don't think I've told you guys this. So this is new for everybody right now. But this is just kind of a quick story. There's not a whole lot to it. But there were a couple of friends that I had that were definitely like the bad influence kind of friends when I was like maybe like 9, 10 years old that would love to come over and hang out. They were always talking about like,
Wasn't it?
huh?
It's fucking me, isn't it, dude?
Yeah, I know. We'll just wait till we hear the rest of the story.
Oh my god.
But like whenever I would hang out with them and like go over to some of their friends' houses, like I would see them kind of just quietly take stuff from them and like do
Wow.
whatever. So like it made me very nervous that like for them to ever come over to my house. And I would watch them like a fucking hawk. But one of them, when they were over at my house, saw my sister come in, and like my sister had like she had like some modeling gigs. So like
Oh, that sister?
yeah. And like a lot of my friends would just be like, "Wow, dude, your sister's really pretty." One of them was like, "Dude, your sister's hot."
Hot.
He's like, I would.
I'd
I'm like-
kiss her.
I'm like, you would do what? And he's like, I just, I think she's really pretty. I'm like, okay, whatever. Then a couple years later, as his love for her continued to grow, and then he became a younger guy who started to learn terms. He was like, I would fuck the shit out of your sister.
Oh my god.
He threw that line at me one day while we were playing basketball out in his driveway. And I'm like, you keep my sister's name out your fucking mouth. No, but I'm like getting ready to check the ball, and I'm like, what? He's like, your sister is hot as shit, dude. I'd fuck the shit out of her. I'd do some nasty shit to her, man. And I'm like, it's like a kid who just learned how to cuss.
Yeah.
Or just learned
Yeah.
a whole bunch of cuss words. And I'm like, stop talking about it. And he's like, I'm just saying, man, I'd spit on it. And I'm like,
Oh.
and like as soon as he said that, I fucking threw the ball at him, and it busted his nose wide open.
Oh my god.
And like he came back at me to like start swinging, and I just sidestepped and pushed him to the ground, and it fucking hit his face on a rock, and
Oh,
Is he dead
it
now?
chipped his tooth.
Oh.
And like we got into like a legitimate fist fight after that, and I got a little bit beat up. I took a couple of swings, but he looked terrible. And his little brother, who was like 1 year younger than him, tried to join in too, and I beat the crap out of him.
This little kid.
Well, the other kid was the same
And
age
then a
as
group
me.
of ninjas attacked the house, and I fought them off too.
But like, I remember his dad came out and fucking just like knocked me to the ground and like put his knee on my chest and was like, I'm taking you home and we're about to talk to your parents. And I'm like, okay,
All right.
all right. And that happened, and I got grounded for like a fucking month.
Right.
Or something. But my parents, like, eventually, like, I don't think anything actually happened. At least nothing happened to me. I don't know.
And it's all because your sister's too pretty.
I know,
It's her
right?
fault.
God damn it. What the fuck?
It is her fault. You're right, Scott.
Yeah. I don't know why she even bothers to exist anymore.
But I did get in trouble for also one of the parties that I threw at my parents' house. Not the one that you were
Not-
there for, Scott.
We were real.
We were good about that one.
And I weirdly helped you be smooth about it.
Yeah. I remember it was like icing on the cake when when we figured everything out, we had everything done and cleaned up, and I'm like, oh, to really throw them off the trail, let's go use one of the signs and say the party's here and put that out in front of the driveway. Like it was a joke. And they're like, ah ha ha, you're so funny. That was good. And we're just like,
Yeah.
Nice.
thanks. Like we just like high five under the table. Now, the party that they did catch me for, I was a little bit older. There was some alcohol involved.
A little bit less wise.
Found out that there were some illegal drugs there. There were car tracks leading into the pond. That was a hard one to hide.
They never found the body.
There were beer caps that were like out in the backyard, and my dad, who is keen on basically everything, was like,
It's his yard.
he pulled me to the side as soon as they got home, and he was like, two things. He's like, why did 4 of your siblings and or sister-in-law ask your mother if she's wearing her anniversary necklace, if she's physically wearing it while we were out? And I'm like, I don't know, that's crazy, dude. That's weird. And he's like, okay, all right. Second question. Did you drive into the backyard? And I'm like, yes. Yes, I did. He's like, why? I'm like, you told me a story way back when about Andy doing donuts in somebody's yard, and I thought about doing it, but then I didn't. And he's like, so you just decided to go drive by the tree and throw a bunch of bottle caps over there? I'm like, well, I was out there drinking with friends, and I thought I cleaned everything up. And he's like, how many friends were you out there drinking with? I'm like,
30, 40.
4, I think. And then he's like, all right. And then, like, we walk into the kitchen, and he's like, so you want to explain this? And he opens the oven door, and there are just 4 thawed-out chicken breasts that are hanging through the grid. Like, because they're not on... Because we were fucking toasted, bro. There were the people, like, after we had gone to sleep, there was this one dude that was just high on life. And he was, like, trying to find anything he could eat. And then he put them in the oven, didn't turn the oven on, and then fell asleep. And he's like, you want to explain this? And I'm like,
What's with all the questions, man?
I'm like, what do you, my bad. You know what it's like to be drunk before, right, Dad? And he's like, I do. I'm like, is there something going on? And he's like,
Is there something you want to tell me?
yeah. And he's like, how about you just tell me the truth? And I'm like, I'm in a position here. I'm between a rock and a hard space. And he's like, if you tell me, I'll help you figure out a way to break it to your mom. I'm like, does she know anything yet? And he's like, she hasn't pieced anything together. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna say this. I think somebody kicked Holly because she's limp.
Oh, poor doggy.
And he's like, all right, well, you're taking the blame for that. And then I explained to him how I had like 40 or 50 people over. And
I don't even know 40 or 50.
I don't either.
And then like he was the one who found the line of whatever. I assume it was probably cocaine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they used one of my Magic the Gathering cards.
Oh, that's metal.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
What card was it?
I don't remember. It was a land.
Balefire Dragon.
I think, no, I love that card.
I only take lines from Nico Bolas.
I wasn't allowed to do it.
I'm gonna planeswalk, bitch!
Yes! Oh, God, yes! I haven't been to Ravnica since the 90s.
I remember at the
You're so
time.
fucking nerdy, dude.
I remember at the time. I knew that there were shrooms there. I knew that we were having alcohol. I knew that there was weed there. I tried to kick that shit out as much as I could. I didn't know that there was anything
How
else.
old were you?
21, 22.
Okay.
Dude, hey, my neighbors, shout out to my neighbors if you ever listen to this podcast. They didn't snitch at all.
Hell.
I went over to both houses and I was like, hey, just heads up, I'm having some people over. If you feel like it gets too loud or like there's any issues, come over, talk to me. I'll make sure we all settle
That's
down.
the move.
Yeah.
That's the move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they didn't say anything. And like my dad talked to one of the neighbors. And he was like,
Nope,
he was
nobody
like,
here.
he was like, hey, did anything happen last night? He's like, he had like a couple of friends over, like 3 or 4.
Dude.
And I'm like,
That's
Mike, my man, hey, yo, that's my guy. But like, I know a couple of the people that were supposed to like be responsible for the house with me, like supervise everything. Fucking 2 of them went outside and came back tripping. All right, and I'm like, I looked at one of them, eyes red. They're like darting around, looking at things, and I'm like, did you? He's like, did I what? I'm like, did you take some shrooms? And he's like, no,
What?
no. He's like, but dude, and he like grabbed me by the shoulders. He was taller than me by like fucking 4 inches, and he's like, that picture of like your really hot sister. Which he wasn't talking about that sister. He was talking about the one that I'm not actually related to.
Okay.
He was like, she fucking grew wings and flew upstairs. I'm like, the picture did? He's like, no, the girl in the picture. I'm like, so what's going on with the picture? He's like, it's blank, dude.
Did he look at the picture and then go,
Wait, she's back.
No, later I was like right before he was getting ready to go out, I was like, dude, she's back on it. He's like, man, I'd get rid of that. That's some paranormal activity shit right there, dude.
Oh,
Lord.
man.
But the scary thing is, he's not the only one that said that.
What the
There was
fuck?
another person that was taking shrooms that said that.
This is like the
And I'm
DMT elves. Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Clockwork Elves.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I got caught for that one, obviously. And any damage that was done to the house, which was not very much, I paid
More
for.
or less than a cat knocking over a Christmas tree.
Less emotional damage.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more physical damage.
Right.
how much trouble did you get in versus the cat?
Versus the cat?
Yeah.
Well, the cat was a lingering thing. All right.
They still brought it up.
They brought it up every fucking Christmas, dude.
So,
Every fucking
they don't even
Christmas.
fucking care about the party anymore, but they're still bad about the cat.
The party, every once in a while, I'll like drop a little bit more info that they didn't know about the party. So I'm just slowly like opening up more and more of it.
I actually learned I was gay at that party the whole time.
But yeah, I think overall I probably got in more trouble immediately from the party. The Christmas thing was really just an everlasting thing. Like I said, they just kept bringing it up, and at the time they were just very disappointed in me. They weren't upset. They were just very disappointed that I lied about who knocked over the Christmas tree.
See, for me,
It was legitimately
I'm not
the
gonna
cat.
say I'm not gonna say I was like a good kid. I
Oh.
wasn't a good kid, but I was just a boring kid.
Nothing happened.
I didn't do shit. Like my act of rebellion was sometimes I'd go hang out with you guys on the weekends.
So you're telling me is
Your mother, I know your
All
mother
the-
was just like, it's good he has friends.
all the dangerous, irresponsible things that's ever happened in your life, I was a part of,
Like what?
like being at a party.
That's pretty much it wasn't even irresponsible. I did nothing at that party. I talked to people. People were having drinks and whatnot, and I was just like, with my water. Because I'm boring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did I do anything else? There was a time
Well,
when I
that
did-
feels like a nice natural ending.
Now that we've all stopped,
I was also bored.
hard segue.
Sure.
Because I'm done talking about stories. I don't want to talk about all of our Winter House stories.
Yeah, keep wanting more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tonight we experimented in between our Naughty Dog TV show and movie. We experimented with some dice.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
I forgot
Yeah,
that happened.
So Chris notoriously rolls trash. So much so that I got him a t-shirt that says "Live fast, roll trash."
Something incredible happened tonight, guys.
So, Chris, do you want to explain?
So, for those wondering, the T-shirt has a little raccoon on it.
No one gives a shit.
He's playing around in dice, and there's all ones. So I roll trash, right? So me and John probably saw the same short on YouTube.
Mine was not a short.
Mine was the short version.
Mine was like a 10-minute long video.
Oh my
Okay.
god, no one cares.
It doesn't matter.
This person put a bunch of salt in a...
Just skip that. Okay, what did we do?
We got Epsom salt, salt saline laxative, and just poured a bunch of it into a bowl of water.
Should have warmed the water.
Should have warmed up the water.
Until we got a saline, a concentration that was dense enough that dice, due to air pockets within them, were able to float.
Okay, yeah. Okay, right.
And so, based on where that is, the your dice will favor certain sides. And we discovered that most of my dice are pretty fair. I just roll trash, except for 3 dice.
3 dice in particular.
Mm-hmm.
The pink die, which is beautiful, it's a beautiful die, is always on 1. Always on 1.
Genuine. It kind of blew my mind. I was like, we're just gonna get random numbers. There's nothing to this. We got 3 fucking die that literally always went to the same number up.
Yeah.
Now, there was a bunch of dice that were like always just giving us random numbers.
Yeah.
There was one dice that sat on a point. It wouldn't actually favor one specific side, or a side at all. And then there was about 30 dice that just sank to the bottom still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we could not get to float.
Now, it is possible that they have rounded edges or are they sharp edges?
Sure.
Okay, so those would probably fair. If they've got rounded edges, that usually means they went through a rock tumbler to smooth them out, and they're going to be oblong, so they will favor certain sides.
Well, here's the thing.
2 dice.
This is the thing that's weird to me.
My my black and yellow die and my purple die.
Okay.
They favored 20. They always seeked 20.
And here's the weird thing. They're clearly from the same source because they have the same font on
Right.
Yeah.
and they, no matter what we would go, and they would go, whoa,
And stop on 20.
on 20
Yeah.
every single time.
And the one that's favored 1 did that as well with 1. So I have those 3 dice. But the thing is, though, I always roll trash. So why do those 2, when I roll them, for some reason, fuck me too?
I don't know. When we're saying he rolls trash, it is legit. There are... We go to roll 20. We're on a computer simulation. He still cannot roll above a 5.
It's the air pockets in the dice, okay?
Yeah.
They're favored towards the ones.
I was rolling pretty shit as well, to be fair, that last session. But I digress. We're deep in.
Yeah.
So with that, Cody, I hope you don't mind. We're going to experiment during your next game.
See how he
And
does.
specifically use these 3 dice.
Just see if he rolls nothing but 1 and 20.
I mean, we were just like over and over again. I did a few times, and I didn't get a 20 a single time.
He
or a
rolled,
one.
but he rolled the pink one a handful of
Oh,
times
and
and got a 1 twice.
I got a 1 twice. I only rolled it like 5 times, and I never rolled over 5.
Let's roll these real quick.
So all
podcast,
live,
let's see how they
live
go.
one. Here it is.
So we got an 11.
It is 19 on the pink one.
19 on the pink one, 5 on the purple one, and 11 on the yellow one. Well, that's because 1 is right next to the 19.
That's true.
1 is right over here
Where's 20 on that?
on the other side, basically.
And then 5.
That's great.
Is this the one that's got favors 1?
No,
No,
this
the pink
is-
one is the one that
These 2
favors
favor
1.
20.
Okay.
All right. This is right by 20.
Right by the 20.
20.
20.
And Kyle's doing great.
All right.
Kyle's doing great. Hot hands.
Well, we don't
Inside the
have
20.
to
Close it.
have to do this on
I
the
just wanted to do
podcast.
1.
I was curious.
Well, I hope you guys
But,
enjoyed that episode.
Yeah. Cody, I hope you don't mind that we use your game as an experiment.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, you don't have to use my game. You can roll them anytime.
It's
I
gotta
wanna-
be
I wanna
live.
do it
It's
when it
gotta be-
matters.
Yeah, it only counts if it matters. If you're not playing a game, it doesn't mean
Yeah.
shit.
The dice know.
It only counts if it matters.
Yeah.
Cody, I'd like to test your dice. I think you're scaling us, dog. I think you're cheating us.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to test my
Does
I have
Cody
one
roll
die.
in front of you guys?
Sometimes.
Or does he-
Only when he's got the hot hand. No, he rolls all the time in front of us.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't trust it. Sometimes I don't trust that little fucking.
Because I alternate.
But that's the thing with Cody.
Cody, you still there?
I describe Cody as like he is a momentum roller because he's either rolling trash or he's TPKing, dog. Like he rolled not one, not two, but 3 natural 20s in front of me on one of my saves, and I'm like, oh, this is at disadvantage. He's like, all right. Well, I rolled 2 natural 20s. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to make you re-roll one of those. Oh, another natural 20. Well, fuck me, I guess.
Oh my god.
Dice say you die.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
I think I know what I'm talking about for my next corner.
Already?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're so far away.
Yeah,
I know.
we're ways-
It's
I know what I'm going to do for my corner.
Chris, take us home.
Well, first I was going to ask, do we want to leave the audience with, like, a question or comment?
That can be
they
part of
should-
taking us home, my guy.
No.
No, you
Then-
can do
What
whatever
do you
want.
roll on your dice?
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, everybody, this has been fun, hearing stories from everybody. Mostly everybody.
Chris not participating this episode.
I didn't exist back then
This is
when all this stuff was happening, except for the car thing and
You
Cody
were not-
driving.
You were not a part of that.
I was not a part of it, but
You're doing great.
I
You
existed
did
then.
exist.
So, go make your own stories, guys. Have fun, be safe, and goodbye, everybody.
And go vote.
Pokemon Go to the polls.
Farewell.